This segment is brought to you by Gin Gators. We sink our teeth into service.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. Our next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about election integrity, and we'll be talking with We the People Bayou community. But Governor Landry was up in Washington, D.C., and he talked about election integrity and those kind of things with President Trump. He had this to say.
We have to straighten out our country. We have to straighten out our elections. Our elections are very dishonest, very corrupt, and we have to straighten it out. And it's so easy to do it. And we should go to paper ballots. We should go to one-day voting. We should go to voter ID. And just one other thing, proof of a thing called citizenship in the United States. Wouldn't that be nice? How simple does that sound? Proof of citizenship, voter ID, one-day voting, and paper ballots. You know, paper ballots are very secure. They have watermark paper. It's very intricate stuff. It's very technologically advanced, even though it's paper. And you'd have no trouble. You wouldn't have dishonest elections, and you'd have them all done by 10 o'clock in the evening. You know, France went to that, and not that I want to copy anybody, but many others have also. And they had 38 million votes, and it was all done at 10 o'clock. They had a winner, they had a loser. That was it. Nobody was complaining. And they had it backed up with paper. And it's so easy to do. The other thing, you'd save about, this would cost you about 8% of what the machines cost. So the paper would be much less expensive. So if you're looking to save some money, that's a good way to save it. So it's a shame that we've gone through it. We've gone through a bad election, a really bad election. The election was so bad. And think of it, you wouldn't have had...
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense. But here we're going to talk with We the People Bayou community. Marina Plizzolata, Blaise Lecomte, and Danielle Walker. Thanks so much for being with us, guys. We appreciate it. So this has to do with election integrity. This is machines that they might be buying for the first time in 30 years that you don't want to waste our tax money on voting machines. So tell me a little bit more, Marina.
Okay. Well, it's a question of whether or not we want to spend the $100 million plus on voting machines that we may not be able to use in the future. So we have a meeting this Thursday on April 3rd at the Courtyard Marriott, and it's going to be giving information, supporting what our president is asking for. And we have two speakers, Dr. Randy Russ, who is an election integrity, he's been an election integrity investigator since 2020, and we have been working with him that long. And then we have Ms. Christy Hike, who's LRA president, RSCC committee woman, and she's also on RPEC. So it's at 6:30 to 8:30. We would ask that you would arrive early. The doors open at 6. We would ask that you would go to our website, WTPBayou.org. It's up there on the flyer, and reserve a spot. If you don't, that's okay, still come. We would also ask that you would invite people, bring people with you, because this is a subject that is important to every citizen of Louisiana. With all that's going on right now nationally, right, with U.S. aid and all the money that they're finding, all the places they're finding that our tax dollars were wasted. We just want to make sure in Louisiana that we're not wasting tax dollars. And so we want to give information to people so they can make informed decisions.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a great way to go. And I know, Blaise, you're not accusing anybody. I don't think we've had any issues here in the state, but every year it comes up. But we don't want 100 million's a lot of money, but it's not that much to get elections right. We just it'd be great to have elections right and have a backup system.
That's correct, Harry. Look, I think that our elected officials locally were fairly put in place, and we feel pretty good about that. I think we've got a good group of legislators that are really going to help us out. You know, my epiphany came, a few years back when I realized after I pressed that button in that voting machine that I didn't know what happened on the backside. I didn't know if my vote really counted or if it went to the right person or not. And we had no system of backing it up and auditing it and to tell me, I mean, nobody could tell me whether my vote counted or not. And at that point, I decided I wanted to try to get a little more involved. And after I did some research, it even went further than that. I realized not just this machine, but these tabulators that some people are considering using had the same problems. These things can be manipulated, and you know, anybody who's got any kind of mechanical mind could see that. And now we're into computers, that
Right.
these things can be changed and these votes can be flipped if we don't have complete control. And I think we need to follow the lead of President Trump.
Yeah.
He's laying it out for us. He said, look, we can do it like this. Right. And it's so much cheaper. We're saving millions of dollars. We're always looking for ways to save $1 million, $1 million here, $1 million there. We're going to save over 92 million dollars.
Danielle, you have a podcast that you do as well, right? You talk
Yeah.
about this?
Yeah, it's called The State of Freedom. And we mentioned this morning, actually, the executive order that President Trump signed on March 25th. And we'll get into it more on Thursday at the mixer. But part of what it does is requires proof of citizenship, which shouldn't be earth-shattering. In fact, Senator Facey, our own Senator Mike Facey, brought legislation that made it into law in Louisiana already, although it's not being enforced yet,
Right.
which we need to push for.
Right. All right. So the big night again, one more time.
This Thursday, April 3rd, at the Courtyard Marriott at 6:30.
All right. So get in touch, reserve a spot. Guys, thanks so much. It's a very important issue of our time for sure.
Thank you,
Thank
Harry.
you.
Like,
Thank you for
appreciate
having
having us. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and thank you for all that HTV does to keep our community informed.
Thank you so much. All right. We'll be right back and we'll buy you time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs.